I'm live. I do like seeing that it has come.
And you believed YouTube when it told you that? You know it thrives
Dude,
on deception.
I have no trust for you. Yeah, see, like, it's still not coming through.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you have at least one person watching you.
Yeah, me.
And one animal watching, because my cat just hopped up on the bed and is watching with bated breath.
I have never seen this one. Ah, okay, cool. Cool. Hello, chat. In the past week or so, since my last stream, I read 2 comics. Alright? One in the title, one not in the title. One, absolute fucking dog shit, I want my money back. The other was pretty good. And that's called a viewer retention strategy. Not just me today, I've got a disembodied voice joining me. Author's Play is back on the stream. Hello, Dino. Thank you for letting me know that I was live.
True, I've lost my body. I now float through the internet as an internet ghost searching for a new host.
So, Author's Play, you're not a big comics guy, right? So you're just gonna be the second voice victimized by a review of something that you haven't read.
That's correct. I've lost quite a bit of weight.
So. The thing to talk about here is Yaira, which is the latest installment by Rippaverse. And it just came out, like, I got this in the mail, like, yesterday, because I was a late backer, and they are first in, first out shipping, which I guess is the right way to do shipping, but it means I'm, like, a week and a half behind to the day 1 reviews, and I'm just like, oh, my engagement clicks, where are they?
See, you should have come up with a gimmick. Be like, I will review this comic, and if I don't like it at the end, I will burn it, or something like that.
Nah, I'm just calling it an honest review.
When has honesty ever helped anyone on YouTube?
You got me there, man. So I'm just going to assume you don't know diddly about Rippaverse, except from a few things you picked up, and certainly not who Yaira is. And you know, that's basically fine, because in a lot of ways, nobody knows anything about Yaira. This is literally the introduction comic. And it's a nice, beefy comic. Don't let anyone ever say that the material here is low quality. This is an introduction, like Isom 1 was an introduction. I did do a fan theory, and I've talked about Isom on the channel before, and I basically called it mid. Yaira, however, is written by the Sasuke sisters, who are not new to creating by any means. However, they are...
Sasuke sisters? You're bringing Naruto into this?
That's going to be interesting, because this video probably is going to get around to them at some point. What was I saying? So anyways, professional writers that got brought in to work in Eric July's Playground, right? And I actually wanted to give a shout out. I don't think this is going to be bothered, this is going to be read, but the very first page is the Rippaverse ethic, which a year ago I would have said that this is like a little self-congratulatory. But to sum it up, he in the first page of all of his comics now, he's saying that, hey, my goal is to respect the customer. I don't deserve your money. I am trying to earn your money. I'm going to take this seriously. There's not going to be retcons. There's not going to be timelines. I'm building a full universe. We're going to try and tackle all genres. Everything is going to be in one coherent timeline where everything matters, but you can jump in at any point. You can follow who you like, disregard who you don't, engage to your desire. And to distill that, he's another guy talking about how cool it is that he's making his own universe. And a year ago, I was just like, anyone can make their own universe. Plenty of people are making their own universe. Today, though, I'm here to say that actually that's a rather unusual claim, particularly if you're claiming that you're doing it successfully. Like, personally, I think it's very trivial to make a full universe. I do it at least twice. I have at least 2 heavily developed universes. That would be my Bastion timeline and my web novel Epic Fantasy. Both of those I consider to be full gamut playgrounds. Turns out that that's just actually unusual, and most people don't build stories capable of doing that. getting into the indie sphere, I assumed everyone was like me. I'm now just saying that I'm special, and so is Eric July, apparently.
Oh, Craig, we always knew you were special.
So, Yaira.
That aside,
yes,
I just want to point out the content. I think it's useful to have a sort of mission statement at the beginning when you're starting out like that. I mean, not only does it let any new customer potentially know what you're all about, but it also keeps you on focus and on brand.
Yeah, it also establishes what your brand is. Like, when I started taking Twitter seriously, I kind of flippantly made my bio, "I am here to entertain you with books." No, it's not. I'm not labeling myself 7 Ways to Sunday about how I'm on somebody's team. I'm very clear. I am here to write good books that you will get enjoyment from for buying.
Do you really want to talk about flippant Twitter bios? Because mine is literally, I'm a lazy asshole and I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, how's your follower growth going? Now, you joined right as the algorithm kept getting changed.
I have follower growth?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So, even if you say that building a universe is something that a lot of people are doing, even then, you're probably talking about like the top 5% of people are actually competently doing something like that. And it actually is probably that low. So, it might come across as something that's a little kish, I guess, to brag about, but it actually is something to brag about. And you, viewer, you should tune into the Bastion timeline. Shill. I don't even have the link to one of those books.
Well, Craig, you should make some videos about Bastion. Shill. Maybe some short vids about
Dude,
the lore.
my video on artificial intelligence did squat. My lore video was a flop. Sue me.
Make a couple short ones.
I should do shorts. The reason I'm starting this stream like this is specifically so I can finally beat myself up into learning how to clip. Because I'm actually going to clip from this stream and just re-upload this clip as a video for the Yaira review. Other people can click on it. I can get sweet duplicate. That's a YouTuber skill I need.
You do need some more YouTuber skill. All your shorts should be like a little bit of lore about Bastion with titles like, "This computer AI is running their entire lives, and they're okay with it." Soy face.
Dude, like, no joke, I actually really want to do a spoof of InfoWars and present the news as though I'm in Bastion complaining about all the conspiracies.
That's not a bad idea. Why haven't you done it? You could make
because it's production quality.
You don't need production quality for that. Put on your Blade Runner coat, get a fedora, and like just act like your studio is a newsroom and be like, I don't know, Hard Steel Corporation brutally massacred another group of protesters today, blah, blah, blah. But what you really don't know is that they're being controlled by demons from the ether. And then just like do your best crazy man impression.
Well, let's talk more after the review segment. We can keep that for another clip.
All right.
Okay. So, Yaira picks up during ISOM 1, which actually I need to remember to not show pictures so I don't get DMCA'd. It picks up during ISOM 1, which is when Yaira was introduced, and there's like a couple pages of her fight with Alpha Core, which, for the record, I did not read ISOM 2, I did not read Alpha Core. I kind of basically waited for a year so I can make a broader comparison.
Now I just have this image of you showing a picture of the comic and Rippa literally driving to your house and beating you up.
That would be a very long drive.
He's dedicated. It says so in his mission.
Dude, I would get so much publicity if that happened. I welcome it.
You just go out into the rain, cast aside your coat, and shout at the thunder.
Right. So, at a structure, there's basically like a couple pages of connective tissue before the dedicated Yaira story starts with Projexus, which is the scene that they did a live action trailer for, which was like, Like, honestly, the live action was not what sold me on Yaira. But it's also kind of like, do I expect a studio like Rippaverse to hit a home run on their first outing to a new format? Not really. I think that's an unreasonable bar to set. So, whatever. But honestly, the introduction of Projexus, which is like this super science facility happening in Forest Park, Texas, was really jank. And that's one of my critiques for Yaira is I swear there's like a couple pages of, hey guys, this company Projexus is really important to the universe. You're going to need to know more information about this as we release more books. However, we're going to immediately jump to unrelated henchmen or carjackers trying to make a buck. Was it robbing a armed money van for a bank? There's nothing connecting them. And after I get through the full plot, spoiler review, by the way, I should have put that in the title. I'll come back to what I think should have been done to connect that, because it's just like there's different plot lines happening overlapping rather than creating a cohesive story. But things basically get out of hand because one of the criminals manifests Yaira's same power, and then, whoops, coincidentally, there just happens to be these aliens from Yaira's backstory, like, floating in orbit outside of Earth, and they detect the power surge, and they go, aha, we found you, with our spooky backstory of knowing, hunting you down for escaping from the planet. We just happen to be here right now. And maybe that's supposed to line up with info from other books or something, but it's just like, it seems to just happen.
They were just here to bum around, make some crop circles, abduct some hillbillies, mutilate some cattle.
Yeah, and they also show up like Saiyans, or like Frieza.
Oh,
like literally not even a spaceship or something. They're just in space like Viltrumites or something, which... I don't know what you gain by not having spaceships and not establishing what the interstellar travel is like.
Maybe he's trying to like say, oh, they're so powerful, they don't need ships to travel between star systems. They can just instant transition themselves all over the place.
Well, no, they fly. That's actually a weird thing that happens throughout this story, is it's a little fast and loose with how much time is actually passing. You can turn a page, and sometimes it's like, half a second has passed, or you turn a page and it's like days have passed, and there's nothing to mark it. I honestly don't know if this took place over 2 days or several months. It doesn't really matter.
There's not even like the standard little text box that says 3 days later.
Nope. I'm not sure I would have done it differently. I don't exactly have a developed opinion on whether or not it should have been more clear about the timeline.
I think the time, like, when you do any sort of narrative and there's a time jump, unless it's blatantly obvious, you should have some sort of indicator that time has passed. Otherwise, it can get super confusing.
Yeah, but on the other hand, nobody pays attention to them anyways. Like, you read Takedown Request,
I knew you were
where I have the date of every chapter at the title, and nobody pays attention to it. The only dates I can think of that people actually notice are actually from Blame by Tsutomu Nihei, and you only notice them because the time jumps are like tens of thousands of years, and you're like, what? They were on the elevator for how long? Well, maybe it doesn't really matter.
To be frank, I stopped kind of paying attention because I thought you were just trying to establish, like, time of day and shit. I figured you were doing that thing where it's like on the X-Files, where it's like Muldoon Laboratory.
I was taking advantage of the fact that I knew nobody was paying attention.
Well, it worked, so, don't knock it.
Right. So anyways, the plot becomes a story of this seemingly unrelated goon from the city that develops Yaira's powers, and then Yaira is trying to find them, protect them. There's foreign aliens invading to take Yaira to justice. But they also want to take sorry?
As opposed to domestic aliens?
Yes. We get some, like, random samples of what Yaira's powers are, but they're just, like, in a lot of ways, they're just, like, the standard superhero powers of heal from wounds better, super strong, flight, beam spam. I know it's normal, but it's not my cup of tea to win fights by just shooting energy of various colors at one another, and that happens several times throughout this book. I know that's just like a normal superhero thing. That's not how I like my magic. I'd rather see fist fights and sword stuff. Sue
I'm
me.
fine with energy spam as long as it's coming out of a gun.
True. But anyways, things escalate as the Alpha Core, the super cops get involved. And it kind of made me wish I'd picked up Alpha Core. So from a marketing perspective for building Rippaverse, very effective. But like for this huge chunk of the book, there's just like this exploration of Yaira's backstory, completely unrelated to Projexis, until it suddenly comes back to mattering. Because one of the bad guys has summoned an insect swarm, and we need super science to solve it. Okay, so in the middle, Projexis is fine. Like, that's actually how you should use a super science thing. But to not ruin the ending, things escalate. There's some fights. Yaira is hell-bent on defeating the bad guys. And then you find out her motivations, her backstory, why Stephania, or I should have learned names better, why she's getting the powers and so on. And
it's kind of a black mark against the book that you're having trouble remembering their names.
Dude, I'm listening to Fourth Wing right now, where they constantly repeat the names because it's a stupid dragon romance book, and I still don't know those names. That's a me problem.
I'm sorry, Fourth Wing?
Yeah. It's actually not that bad so far. Dude, I gotta do competitive research on what is actually selling book, okay?
Yeah, but what is it?
Oh, that's the TikTok book about, frail little scholar girl has to become a dragon rider, and then, oh my god, these guys are so muscular, and then they bang a lot.
The dragon riders or the dragon?
I'm told just the dragon riders.
I mean, I don't like the fact I have to ask that question, but it's the internet. It's TikTok.
So anyways, there's a relatively satisfying escalation to a big set piece fight at something I'm not exactly going to spoil. The villain is properly villainous. You really hate him, but he has a rather ambiguous set of spells that he uses to fight. But it's fine. It's actually like a good fight. With the exception of at one point she needs super science to save her, and it turns out that Black Science Lady, whose name I definitely can't remember, is a jack of all trades science lady. Which is another super common superhero thing. I know that's a super common superhero thing where it's just like the smart person is smart at everything. But like, that's not actually a thing. Like, if you are a geneticist and a biologist, that does not mean you're a surgeon. But that's a reality thing that, nobody ever seems to abide by.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Renaissance men and women have been a thing in real life where someone's genius good at a bunch of shit, so having one or two of those isn't such a bad thing. One or two.
Yeah, but he's later this year is coming out with literally with the Hank Pym of the universe, goading the polymath who has no powers and he's just super smart at everything. That's like explicitly a superhero is how he's trying to use that archetype. To be honest, to me, it felt a little sloppy. It felt like there wasn't a particularly good reason to not introduce a surgeon to do the surgery that she needed. I mean, that's my take on it. You don't need... You don't need to stack all the intelligence points onto a single character.
True.
But, there's a big climactic showdown. She gets her suit at the end. It's set up for a sequel. And when you look at it as a character introduction short story set up to have her in conflict with Alpha Core, very good, actually. This is a good comic from that perspective. And to be honest, my take is that's what the Saska sisters brought to the table. They brought a good story and they executed it pretty well.
Well, why don't you go into what makes it good then?
A lot of spoilers, basically. Okay. The catch is that I think they were working around a restriction of you have to introduce Projexis to build the brand outside of what they work on. They were just working under a restriction because the introduction of Projexis it felt meaningless. And it really didn't need to. I think there was a really easy connection that they could have made because she does have, like, a personal sword that if she had given that to Projexis and that had been the framing of the introduction of her work at the science company, that they are studying this because she's an archaeologist, allegedly. That's her cover story. She's got the Clark Kent disguise going on for this. I really don't know how she isn't identified. Literally, she doesn't even cover her face except for glasses. Whatever. But if they had introduced Projexis as researching this magic sword with strange powers, and they're like, what can we learn about this? And then immediately lead into, oh, there's this, this lowbrow criminal that just developed these same powers. It would have made the two plot lines seem like they actually matter to each other, rather than being something obligatory happening in the background because it's a shared universe. And then that would have also given context to she needs to go back to Projexis to get her sword so that she can fight better because she's outgunned by the villains. And that gives you a plot beat of escalating her power, taking her up from, like, beams and punching to sword and beams. I think that would have tied things together significantly better, would have given some context to the dialogue, rather than somewhat repetitive, like, introductions, basically, with no stakes early on. I think that would have just worked better. But, you kind of get out of it, and as things are escalating, that isn't an issue, and having meaningless stuff happen, if you have to put it somewhere, put it in the beginning, so it's in the right spot from that perspective. I do also want to comment that a lot of people on Twitter are complaining about bad art and bad proportions. And it blows my mind because there are two bad panels. By my count, two. There are two panels that are just like, how did you approve that? And neither of them have I seen on Twitter. Nobody is complaining about the actually bad panels. It's so weird.
I mean, what's weird to me is that, like, I don't know. I still remember the days of, who was it, like Greg Land literally tracing porn for Marvel Comics, or the infamous Liefeld pouches. It's like, so long as it's not super objectionable, and from what little I've seen of the Rippaverse, it seems to be well enough. I'm not sure that people should be throwing a whole lot of stones given how many glass houses there are on this block.
So, because I'm reasonably certain that eventually someone from Rippaverse is going to watch this, the two panels that are screwed up are when Solari is choking her face is wrong. Like, obviously wrong. That is a bad panel that should have been redrawn. And then the other one is when she has her chest open. Her anatomy is not adjusted for the fact that Black Science Lady had to cut open her sternum. Like, the rib cage should have been pushed open, and that should have opened her lats up more. Pretty gruesome shot, but you're the ones that chose to have an open chest surgery in the middle of the book. Because you wanted to show her alien organs that are still biologically compatible with humans. The way it is currently drawn, it is like the buzzer game Operation, where they just plastered on a sticker of an open chest wound, and didn't expand the chest to do so.
Yeah, but does her nose light up every time they fuck up?
Well, Black Science Lady doesn't fuck up, so how would I know? But like I said, nobody on Twitter is complaining about those. I don't know what's up with that.
Well, I was going to say you could show us the panel so we could see, but if it's that gory, maybe the algorithm would not like that amount of flesh being shown.
Yeah, it's also like, do not reproduce. Dude, I saw some, like...
Oh, you can, for purposes of review, you can at least show a couple panels. It's fair use, for God's sakes.
Yeah, just no, fair use is me spoiling half the plot.
Hey, I mean, you've been very fair about this use, James. All I know is that bad aliens show up and there's fights, but eventually the heroine wins.
Yeah, so for the record, this is a backstory novel where it starts you in media res, where it's with what she's currently doing, and then what causes, her past to catch up with her. And then she, there's action, accelerates, and then she goes and explains her motivation, where it goes back to when she first showed up on Earth, and explains, why she cares about being on Earth for the last few hundred years or whatever. And then that happens like right before the big climax, where she defeats the bad guys. Ooh, spoiler! The hero defeats the bad guys at the end.
I mean, in fairness, in the year of 2024, that's becoming less and less a spoiler and more of a 50-50 shot. Porcelain Chips has stated that maybe no one knows what an enemy is anymore.
That's legit. That may actually be happening with a lot of artists, particularly with the desperate kind of artists that will flood your DMs if they get a sniff of money. I really have to start blocking people.
For some reason, I immediately thought of that old comic. Hello, I'm Arms the Fox. I was born with these 2 freakish arms.
So, overall, I give Yaira like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Actually, it was actually quite good. Which brings me back to the dog shit terrible book. It was not Yaira. It was Punisher War Journal. Maybe I would have liked it better if the employee at the comic shop that sold it to me had actually told me what the fuck it was. So, yeah, Yaira review is done. I'll just remind me that the clip needs to stop at 26 minutes, alright? Send me a message on Discord so I remember it's minutes 0 to 26, the clip.
Depending on me... Oh, that's why it's the new one! No wonder I didn't know what the heck you were talking about. Alright then. It's the one where he's got the stupid devil thing on his frickin' shirt instead of the skull.
For the first, 30 pages. Which, by the way, I am compressing my face and I'm going to start up Dark Souls. Because I can definitely talk over Dark Souls to discuss this absolute tragedy that was Punisher. So if you tune in for Yaira, 8.5 out of 10 or so, maybe 9. I liked it. I would consider reading the second one based on what they see and what they're marketing. A big step up from Isom 1.
I just want to know, is that like a standard warning when you're about to play Dark Souls? I must compress my face now. I'm about to play Dark Souls. Oh, good lord.
What?
Well, go ahead then.
What the? What?
Tell us.
I accidentally hit new game.
I have no idea because I've never played Dark Souls.
I think I accidentally hit new game instead of...
Well, can't you fast forward through the cutscene and figure it out?
I need to get back to where I was dying.
He needs Porcelain Chip says he needs Dark Souls to get through this.
Okay, so I go to a gym. Near my gym is a comic shop. I've driven by it 100 times. I finally stopped in because I think Punisher is a good comparison for Blackstone. My main series. There are significant differences. Like, Elliot, my detective, is a detective. He's not a murderous vigilante. But it's, in my opinion, solidly in the comparison zone where I should read what other people are doing.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that Blackstone needs to get his body count up there. He needs to start getting some XP, execution points.
I can see that. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's definitely a way I can take the series. Come... And that right there, what you will see on the stream, is why I have never beaten Dark Souls 2.
Lack of skill?
There is a slight RNG... They changed something between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, such that there is a slight RNG difference in enemy health. And every once in a while, the math works out such that... an enemy that that 99% of the time you can kill in 2 hits. Every once in a while you need 3 hits. Which is just obnoxious because they look like they should be dead.
Well, no plan survives first contact with the enemy, my friend. You need to learn how to be more flexible. But enough of that. While you're being punished on stream, why don't you tell us about this war journal? That
Right, so,
punished you
I show up to the comic shop. I'm just like... I need more alcohol.
I mean, there have been many times when I've shown up to a comic shop and my first thought was, good lord, I need more
No,
booze.
no, watch how I die.
I'm watching. Oh, you died in fire. Not too bad of a way to go.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, I show up, I'm just like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, what do you got? I want to try out this character. I've never read Punisher before, because I'm not really a comic guy. For the record, I'm a manga guy. So I do actually completely understand what makes, sequential art good. Yeah, I want to add... Wow! Wow, that sword is bad. I don't have enough strength to even two-hand that sword, apparently. So anyways, I show up, I'm just like, what do you got for Punisher? This is what I'm looking to try to do. I'm an independent author. I think it's a good comparison. I'm trying to do competitive research. And there's like, ooh, Punisher. Nothing really. We got some trade paperbacks. And their description is basically, you can get this one, which is maybe a bit better, but it's an incomplete story. Or you can get this one, which is a complete story. And I'm just like, well, I don't even know if I like the Punisher, so I will go with the complete story, so it is one purchase. And I got War Journal. And it was not a complete story. It was 4 unrelated short stories in 4 different styles about completely different Punishers.
Out of curiosity, if you didn't like the Punisher that much, did he try and, like, give you a...
Well, I didn't know I didn't like the Punisher, because I hadn't read it.
No, the comic book guy. You just said he opened with, ew, the Punisher.
Well, no, not you, like as in they don't have the Punisher, because the Punisher is not supported by Marvel.
Ah, the Office Space version of ew. Alright, I get you. So tell us, James.
It opens with Devil Mask Punisher, where apparently he's not some, just low-level vigilante. He's the head of super ninjas.
Yep, that's the thing that happened.
And then at the end of the book, he's a PTSD guy trying to live with his wife, which I don't know much about the Punisher, but I know he goes and kills a bunch of people because his wife is killed. So why is she alive in every single story in this trade paperback?
Oh, James, you don't know? Do you want me to tell you?
Please, go right ahead.
You see, the Punisher became head of the Devil Ninjas so he could use their devil magic to resurrect his wife. This was an event that happened. It was actually a big thing because well, I don't know if you want spoilers for this Punisher, because it doesn't end well, and it sounds like you picked up a story where they're still in the middle of it, given that, well,
I will not be seeking this out. What bugs the shit out of me is I was at Motor City Comic Con a couple weeks ago when that was happening, and I chatted with the guys that showed up with like a truckload of back issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, get Garth Ennis's stuff. That's what you're looking for.
Yep.
And I asked the store, I'm looking for Garth Ennis's work, and they're like, we don't have that.
I will suggest that you went to did they at least offer to get it to you? Like, we'll find it. Like, if you put it in an order, we'll...
No, they did not. I will not be going back to this store.
You went to a crappy comic store.
They had genderqueer on the end cap. I found that out after I purchased. That is the wrong kind of comic shop to buy the Punisher from.
I mean, in fairness, if genderqueers want to kill criminals, good for them.
You do know what that book is, right?
Book? What?
The book, Genderqueer. The one that got banned from a bunch of schools.
I thought you literally meant that there was a fucking end cap with just like genderqueer comics, like
no,
as if they had an
the
LGBT
specific
section.
book, the specific one that teaches children how to have anal sex or whatever.
Oh man, congratulations, Craig! You made me take sanity damage. I didn't think that was possible anymore.
How did you not hear about that?
Well, when did this become a thing? I have heard rumors of such books. I did not seek out any
It came out like
information on them.
4 years ago.
Okay, so yeah. So I've heard rumors about books like that. I did not seek out any information, and I was quite happy not having sought out any information. But yeah, no, if they're selling books about teaching kids stuff like that, probably not such a good idea. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to close out the engagement bait, that was the dog shit horrible book that I'm upset I spent money on.
So you said there were 4 Punishers though? Like who other than Devil Mask was in there?
Groenbeck, Medina, Pimentel, Morisanta, Fan, and Milla are on the spine.
That tells me nothing. Which is a horrible sign. So there's no traditional Skull Frank in there.
No.
You got bamboozled, my friend. When people talk about the Punisher in positive tones, they're generally referring to a very specific period or number of works with the Punisher, and it sure as shit ain't the modern ones.
I really don't want to go hunting for back issues, though. I want to just pick up, you know, a reprint. Like, this should not be difficult. That was actually what baffled me, is, like, if I show up and say, I want to try out this character, they should have, like, household names, should have, like, a supply of things on hand. Like, imagine I showed up and said, I want to try Thor, and they're like, oh, we got, like, this anthology of of writers you've never heard of. Do you want to try that out? And, like, when they should be selling you, like, God Killer.
Well, all I know is that you've given me even more reason not to venture out into the cold, cruel world that is the comic book buying experience.
Well, there is a good reason that indies should be succeeding right now. And it is because the industry sucks ass.
Well, I mean, in fairness, there are a number of industries where competition should be thriving, and it's not because there are multiple anti-competitive practices or the nature of the industry does not lend itself well to startups. Like media, as I'm sure you've noticed, your average consumer prefers to get something that they're familiar with, and with media that often means that a old name, even if it sucks, might sell better than a new name that might be good.
True, people are creatures of habit. And porcelain chips, I don't know, it would make sense. It probably is that this particular comic shop was notably bad. Like, that probably is what happened. But, like, still.
Dino Rex says Frank Castle was originally a Vietnam-era Marine Force recon. That is correct. I know that the latest iteration, the one that is replacing what we all know as the Punisher, is now a SHIELD operative with laser guns and a slightly different insignia because they don't like the fact that the police took it and ran with it.
Yeah, the employees at this shop immediately denied that it had to do anything with Marvel not liking the customers that like Punisher. I was just like, well, that's a load of shit.
You should have just looked at them, let like a space of 10 seconds pass in silence, and then just say,
what the hell was that, Dark Souls? You have to be kidding me!
You could say that too, but I don't think it would have as much of an impact. I like mine better. I don't believe you.
Dude, when you see this throw it just made me suffer, you will be baffled.
I mean, I just watched you throw a grenade off a wall for some reason.
I was locked on, and it threw it at a 90-degree. I riddle me that.
Riddle me this, Craig. What game are you playing for the enjoyment of others, but that which yourself hate?
I actually like Dark Souls. So, I just don't like some of the RNG choices they made. And I can't go up there because I'm way too low of a level to deal with the boss that's up there. Shoka. Outshine's current marble. Oh, yeah. Dino has a good point there. After enough time, a corporation actually is competing with itself, which is a... Oh, good God!
I wouldn't say that's a good god.
Yeah, wait until you see 7 ballistas pointed at your face.
Oh, that happened to me last Tuesday. I did tell you I live in a rough neighborhood, right? A rough medieval neighborhood. I can't go down to the grocery
I know where
store
you
without
live.
being mobbed by I'm gonna clip that and be like, YouTube, renowned creator James Craig is threatening me on stream. Oh, man.
Well, now I know that there's an ambush over there. Woo! Learning.
Yeah, but sadly, people often, when dealing with companies, people like to pretend that like every single executive and creator in them is a rational actor that operates purely on profit motives. But they're still human beings, and ego is still a massive and bloated beast that must be contended with. So yeah, if you're thinking that they might be deliberately stymieing the old stuff because they want the new stuff to start selling, and they want a new cadre of writers to and artists to take up the banner, that's entirely possible.
I mean, at some point, at some level, you actually need to make sure that your current talent is getting work and getting eyes, because you can't get better without iterating. Which brings me back to my earlier point about like you shouldn't expect Rippaverse live action to be, fantastic when it's the first thing, right?
No, it takes but that's kind of the thing though. It takes time for artists and creators to get their feet, and trying to cram their earlier work down everyone's throat is probably not going to help them, because it's going to get them associated with their clumsier earlier work. I mean, just like if you're really dedicated to cultivating them, then let it happen naturally, but when they finally hit their stride, that's when you start focusing on it. Until then, just, keep the company afloat while they get their shit together.
Yeah, they probably are, like, doing it a bit too much.
I mean, if you really want to get down to brass tacks, there's one principle that is behind a lot of the general difficulty that our society has been having in the last 10 to 20 years, and that is the consequences for failure have been destroyed for a segment of the populace controlling things, so they have no real reason to try, and their definition of success begins to diverge from the mainstay definition of success.
No.
I mean, you could just read those messages. If someone's trying to tell you something, what is it? They left that there for you, and you're just ignoring it. So, Punisher War Journal sucked, yes, but you said 4 stories, you gave us 1. Did you read the others? How were they?
Oh, I read the whole thing. I honestly don't remember half of them because I got so annoyed when I realized it was disconnected shit that I lost most interest. I've said before, I hate anthologies.
That's really a shame, but you do you. It's the most damning black mark of any piece of work is the fact that you just can't remember it. It's not good, it's not bad, it's forgettable. That's the worst one. F for forgettable. I mean, yeah, probably for the best. You don't want that cluttering up your brain space, but
It was nothing that I would use to compare to Blackstone.
not even to circle and say, don't do this. I mean, that would make for a very interesting novel, James. What you got to do is when Blackstone's wife dies, have him go crazy.
Why are you
with
wishing
despair.
that on her?
Oh, you let me finish. You let me finish. And then he gets so like distraught that a portal opens up and Loki comes up with his connections and offers to bring her back to life.
Chilling
If
my
only
other
he
books
does-
now, are you? Low-key Connections, a great isekai portal fantasy.
I'm just
Available
saying,
in the description.
I'm just saying you could easily, use this opportunity to bring the Crakeverse together.
Dude, most of my books are connected.
I know.
Why do I think manga is doing well while comics are not? First of all, I think that I think it is actually a systemic difference, not coloring. Well, this is a human. Hello. Hello there, traveling all alone these treacherous times. Well, I hope you have a very good reason. Hate. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourselves. I don't think that's the guy that kills me. And if he is, I'll have fun getting revenge.
Quote from Man Killed.
Well, the thing is, there actually is such a character in Dark Souls 1. And the funny thing is, I accidentally killed him thinking he was a monster, and therefore didn't get betrayed. Why would it lock onto that hollow?
I mean, you tell me. I'm just watching you run around ignoring messages.
Oh my god, I need more endurance in this game. Okay, so anyways, going back to it, but the fact that manga isn't colored and isn't rendered, it's just line work, that takes actually so much work off of the artist that you can create more faster on a smaller budget and iterate more. There's also a culture of apprenticeship that goes on in manga. That's interesting. Well, the monsters didn't spawn. That's another RNG element that I hate.
I will point out that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started off as a black and white comic, which enabled...
You mean back when comics were better?
Yes, this is why I'm bringing it up, James.
Additionally, the format of being in a serialized magazine that people are incentivized to keep a standard subscription to, that they can sell on the merit of, say, One Piece, and you have this super lead manga that people will buy the magazine just for.
You've got to learn to stop being so shocked in the middle of sentences. It just invites the dead.
I thought I died. I did not, though.
You should set that as your Twitter status. I thought I died, but I didn't.
I'm not changing my bio. I like my bio. Anyways, the fact that they have successful super leads that can sell a magazine, which subsidizes the cost of the. Come on. That subsidizes the cost of the other productions, and then, oh, well, I already have the magazine. Why not? No. Why not read the other stuff in this magazine and give it a try? I might like it. It didn't cost me anything.
Right, but that's similar to what I was saying earlier. you need to have those pulls, and then you use that to support your up and comings.
Right.
But Marvel's strategy has just been to go, no, buy the up and comings. You don't need the pull. Like, yeah, you kind of do. Can't skip that step, friendo.
I need to learn to parry. This is a problem.
Buddy came to join the fun. You got anything else to say about Punisher's War Journal other than it was a giant waste of your time and money?
No.
Well, since you keep getting torn apart by these enemies, why don't you tell us about how you were almost torn apart in real life?
Dude, I hate my neighborhood so much. No, I swear 50% of people in the neighborhood either can't control their dogs, can't train their dogs, or don't understand that they have violent dogs.
James, have you literally said the phrase, "who let the dogs out, IRL"?
I have not.
Oh, that's a wasted opportunity. So what are your counters for these dogs? Do you just do you have to learn how to parry so you can deal with these dogs? Are you dodge rolling all down your street?
I hope that brave warrior didn't be careful out there. Let's talk about
I'm locked out of getting my souls back. Well, that's just lovely. Yeah, so I do have the advantage of the fact that I have a deep, loud, and intimidating voice. And when I yell at a dog, the dog gets scared. So there was no bite this time, unlike last year.
James has the voice. Listen, Al-Gaib. That it? That's all you got to say about dogs?
Yeah, so I had to call the police because a 60-pound bulldog broke out of its owner's house to come defend territory 5 doors down. And the owner was, like, stoned and didn't realize the door was open, like his side door was open.
Sounds like the bulldog is more industrious than the owner.
My dog is going to develop, like, a neurosis because there are so many aggressive dogs.
I mean, yeah. I'm not quite sure what there is to say about that unless, like, are you going to start carrying, like, dog spray on a keychain or something?
I'm not going to answer that in a format that is live and can be clipped.
Are you going to develop an anti-dog
I will
program?
deal. I am not afraid of dogs. Let me put it that way. The dog will lose.
You heard it here, folks. James Craik has a master plan to eradicate all opposing dogs in his neighborhood. This is admissible in the court of law. So how's your Dinorex says ATF them. Yeah, join the ATF solely so you can get rid of your neighborhood's dogs. That is a bold strategy. So,
Oh, well, that
it's
didn't
been
work. Oh,
53 minutes, and we haven't discussed much of your own writing progress on this your writing YouTube channel. How is your book going?
well, earlier today I finished final edits on Takedown Request, which is Bastion Blackstone 3. Which, by the way, you didn't respond. Without reading it and without spoiling, I sent you the new final paragraph of the book, and you didn't respond to that.
Oh, that. I thought it would be funnier to respond to it on air. It's not because I didn't notice it at all. Elliot was. Do you want me to say it? Do you want me to read it?
No, I literally said do not.
Oh, you did? When
Yes.
What if I say the words out of order?
Even then,
Blackstone.
there are too
here
many keywords.
Marched back. Food. Cigarette. Except.
Shut, dude, I will kick you off this fucking stream. I'm not joking.
I think that, you know, that's just, that's the pull, James. With this mystery of the gibberish I've just said, people will need to buy your book and read it to make sense of what I just revealed to them. It's a brilliant marketing strategy that I'm offering to you for free because we're such good friends.
Dude, I really, really need to find a bonfire right now. You do understand the basic mechanics of Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, I played Remnant, and I've been told that's similar to Dark Souls, just with more guns. With guns at all, honestly. Have you played Remnant?
Nope. Like Code
game.
Vein, though, and Code Vein's great.
I've heard that Code Vein is good, but honestly, those commercials annoyed me to the point where I'm just like, I'm not going to play this now. I will base my entire purchasing decision off how much these commercials annoy me. If I need to choose, I need to eat. It's like, yeah, very nice. Go away now.
Dude, I'm at 5,000 souls, plus a bunch of pickups, and no bonfire. I have not been able to find another bonfire. And I'm probably going to die if I step off this ledge. Because I'm still cursed from the boss I got killed by. Which is why I've been at 50% health this whole. Here's hoping. Okay, not that bad. Like, I need to get to a bonfire right now.
I'm getting, like, Half-Life vibes. Like, that moment where you're, like, on a steep ledge, and you see, like, the little juts of pixels out that you know you're supposed to land on so you can safely, there you go. See? You made it through okay.
There has to be a bonfire, like, right here. And what kills me is I've been using, consumable healing items. I only get one healing item restored. Oh god, there's 3. And that is a ledge that I can't jump over? Why the fuck could I not walk over that ledge? It was fucking 2 inches tall!
This is exciting for me getting audio from the future because all I'm seeing is what everyone else is seeing. There we go. Now I know what's going on.
Dude, if I lose 6,000 souls there because I thought I could walk off a ledge and it was like, nope. Oh god, I'm getting pity. The game is reducing enemies because I'm failing the second section too much.
Could be worse. The pop-up should come up. Do you want to turn on easy mode?
I've had enough of that. I have to beat the fuck hurdle again now.
Your ending is much better. I would make perhaps one change, and I will quietly send that to you instead of, you know, announcing it for the stream. Unless, of course, I'm bribed.
There are no super chats. I am not monetized yet. Which, by the way, you should like and subscribe and tell your friends and help me get to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, if you do, then I can come on and be witty more often. Wouldn't you like that? Aren't we friends? Internet person whose name I don't know? Isn't this that fable?
No, you have to be fucking kidding me right now.
Well, I was expecting a rejection, but not quite that strong. Jeez.
So, you have to actually be kidding me right now. That's the fucking mechanic? Dude, I need a backseat of somebody who knows this game. Like, I should have been told that that was a thing.
I told you,
maybe
man.
not.
You don't want me for Dark Souls. Bring me on when you're gonna Deus Ex it up. And you better Deus Ex it up at some point.
Well, I found out why I wasn't getting another bonfire for so long.
Why? Do tell.
Wait for the stream to catch up.
Oh, right now you're friggin' waltzing with a spear skeleton. I can hear the ballroom music. Yep, there's your bonfire.
You see how I went through a wall to get there? That wall was not open until the explosion. It could have been opened at any time. Here I am.
Rock you like a hurricane.
Dude, parasocial relationships sound like a good thing until you have a fucking retard show up to your business, live streaming himself, being completely psychotic. Have you been following the arrest at the Rippaverse meetup?
No, but I'm surprised you decided to start this segue off with parasocial relationships sound like a good thing. Do they? Do they, though? But go ahead. I've heard that there was some sort of arrest, but I don't know any details. I've just seen various YouTube thumbnails pop up in my feed.
How was that not a fuck? You have to be kidding me! This game is bullshit sometimes.
It's Dark Souls. What do you expect? It's like, man, when I joined
God!
I didn't think I'd have to do so
Fucking
much
damn
marching.
it, man. Look, when in Dark Souls, when you fall, you can press the attack button to do a plunging critical hit. It just seems to be clearly how you're supposed to approach that, but twice it would not give me the plunging attack. It just dinged me off the fucking wall. Yes, I did lose all 6,000 souls because of that.
Your soul is mine.
I'm done with this for tonight.
Not only did it steal your souls, it took your will to continue as well.
But actually, yes. Dark Souls, you either need to have a shield good enough that you can actually block attacks, or you need enough endurance to dodge attacks. One or the other. But if you are at the start of the game and it just traps you in a fucking room and doesn't let you get out of that room, and you're early in the game and you haven't been able to level up much, you just don't get to fucking do anything. One more life and then I'm wrapping up because I need to actually do like shills. So, as I mentioned earlier, I did release a Portal Fantasy, which has elements of romance to it. It's kind of like, hey, I'm going to go get in a fight for the girl kind of romance. Like, I hesitate to market it as that genre because I am marketing the book for guys. It is definitely an adventure novel for guys. But it's really good, and it's available now. And I am dying inside that I only have one review on it. So, you got anything to show Authors Play? You getting back into
Just my
Twitch yet?
Twitter, my poor, neglected Twitter that I made because you said I should.
I should have
It's,
put that link in the description. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to it. It's us at Slacking Author. I just basically shitpost there. Maybe I'll make something funny that'll make you smile. At some point, I'm going to use it to post little bits and pieces from the work that I'm working on. But nothing is worthy yet.
There it is! And I'm going to die again.
Speaking of dying repeatedly, James, have you ever read All You Need Is Kill?
Yeah, it was alright. Honestly, the movie that Tom Cruise is in was probably overall better.
Really?
Like, I don't think it was a good adaptation. But the manga of All You Need Is Kill is kind of shit. Like, it has cool things about it, but it has some pretty big problems.
Like what? I liked it. It's pretty good.
I read All You Need Is Kill like 15 years ago.
That's
We can talk about
impossible.
that next time we stream. Which is probably going to be next Wednesday, because I have Juneteenth off, and I'm planning to do a mega stream and bring on people left and right as I actually sit through and suffer this. So, Dino, Porcelain, Fox Inc., thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be wrapping up the stream here, unless someone jams in a question real fast. I'll just play thanks for coming on.
No problem.
I'm going to go rest my back, because I am an old man who heard it at the gym.
Old man, what are you doing in this temple of evil?
Peace.
No one's gonna.